Good morning, everybody. This is video number 3 for reading for this week, and the purpose is to introduce the genre of this week's stories and to introduce the stories. This week's stories are fantasies, kind of like fairy tales. They're made-up stories that could not happen in real life. Fantasies often have characters who are not people, but they talk and act like real people. Think of the story, The Three Little Pigs or Goldilocks and the Three Bears. They have animal characters that talk and act like real people. That's a fantasy. But today, the story you're going to listen to is called Super Tools, and there aren't animals that actually talk in this story. It's writing tools like pens, pencils, markers that come to life and act like real people. Take a listen.
Genre: fantasy. Essential question: how can we work together to make our lives better? Read about how a girl's forgotten writing tools work together to become useful again. Super tools. A few weeks ago, Lucy's mom and dad brought a new computer home. "This is so cool," exclaimed Lucy. Lucy used the computer all the time. But not everyone was happy about the new computer. Lucy didn't know it, but her writing tools felt sad and useless. One day, while she was at school, they had an emergency meeting. "Lucy hasn't used us in weeks," cried the markers. "Can we demand to be used?" asked the crayons. "No, that would be rude. But we can remind her how great we are," said the pencils. "Yes," they all agreed. "Let's remind her." After school, as soon as Lucy came through the door, she grabbed a glass of juice and went right to her computer. She had to write a report about birds. The writing tools watched and waited. When Lucy was done, she printed her report. That night, the writing tools got busy. They worked together to make a picture for Lucy. The pencils made a sketch. The markers drew the birds in the tree. The crayons drew the sun in a blue sky. The picture was good enough to frame. The next day was Saturday. Lucy woke up late. Then she went to get her report. Lucy gasped. She couldn't believe her eyes. "Who drew this great picture?" she asked. "Did you draw this?" Lucy asked Mom and Dad. "You know the answer to that," they laughed. "Stop joking. You drew that great picture." That made Lucy think she wished she had drawn it. "It is fun to draw," she said. Lucy hung the picture in her room. Then she took out her pencils, crayons, and markers. "I'll draw my own picture for my report," she said. Lucy and her pencils, crayons, and markers worked together. They drew a super picture. From that day on, Lucy kept drawing, and the writing tools felt happy and useful.
Take a look at that word useful. Remember, when you add full to the end of a word, it means full of use. So the writing tools all felt useful again. How did they become useful? Well, they worked together. Working together is always good. They worked together and drew and colored an awesome picture that Lucy really appreciated. Here's another story about working together. This story is called Working Together, and it's about Raccoon. It's also a fantasy story, and in this story there's animals that come to life and they act like they are real people. So in this fantasy story, your homework is to read this story. I'll attach it to Seesaw. Record your voice reading it. Take care and have a great day.